Okay, I'm going to show you how to do a, what they call this is a dot stitch. But a lot of times when you go and you look it up, it'll be staggered. Ours is going to be more aligned. And I'm going to show you how to do this in a gusset heel. Okay, I'm going to show you how to go about doing this dot stitch in a gusset. Okay, the heel flap and gusset. Alright, I'm going to be working on the 36 peg loom. And I'm going to tell you how to do it. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to divide your pegs in half. Okay, and then what your number is, divide it by 3. So 36 divided by 2 is 18. 18 divided by 3 is 6. Okay, and so that means your sections are going to be slotted up into 6. Okay, and what that means is you're going to take and you're going to have 6 pegs in the middle that you're going to be working when you do the little wedge at the bottom through here. But it means you're going to have 6 pegs, 6 stitches you're going to take off here, 6 stitches you're going to take off here. And the thing is, if you want to know how many rows you need to do in order to be able to do this section, what you want to do is add these pegs on the outer edge together. So what you want to do is you want to take your 6, which you divided by 3, so you take that number, and then you want to times it by 2. Okay, and that makes 12 for this. And so I'm going to do 12 rows back and forth, and that'll be my heel flap. Okay, which is this. This is the flap. Alright, so if you're doing any other peg, any other loom, divide the pegs in half, which is divided by 2. And then you want to take that number you got, divide it by 3, and then that number you got times it by 2. That'll tell you how many rows you need to do for your heel flap. Okay, well, the next thing you need to know is how does this stitching work into the heel flap. Okay, so I know I'm going to need to do it 12 times, and it's basically a 2 pattern kind of thing. But in order not to cut the yarn, I'm going to be doing this a little differently. Okay, I'm going to explain how this works. I'm going to knit my first 18 pegs, so I'm going to knit over 18. Okay, and there's my 18. Alright, that is row 1. Okay, because we don't want to cut, we're going to pick up our colored yarn. We're going to skip that first one, and we're going to knit every other one. Okay, so we're going to knit every other one all the way over. Okay, now naturally I would go in and knit this one, but because of the gusset heel, I'm going to be skipping on every other row. I'm going to be skipping the first peg to create a distinctive area for me to lift back up later to create the gusset part, which is this section here. Okay, so in order for me to finish this row, I need to pick back up my white, skip the first one, which means I'm going to skip that one, and I'm going to go to peg 17. Okay, and I'm going to go in and knit every other stitch, and it should still be white. Okay, and this is what creates that dot. Okay, and when you get to the other side, you'll have now done 2 rows. Okay, it's going to feel like more, but keep up with it. Okay, we're back to the beginning, and you have just done 2 rows. Alright, now we're going to go back and knit straight across, which is row 3, and we're going to skip that first one, and we're just going to knit our way over to the other side. Okay, I have my 12 rows, and I ended up over here. Okay, and I've already snipped my color, and so right now I'm just going to half knot it a couple of times just to tie off the color, because I'm not going to need it anymore on this side of the loom. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to skip that first one, and I'm going to knit my way over. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, okay, and then I want to knit 6 more over and stop. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Whatever your number is that you're working on, you're going to do the same thing. Okay, at this point we want to take off our stitches on our outside to start adding them back, so you're going to need 2 stitch holders. Okay, and you want to start from the outer edges and work your way in on both sides. So see if I can get the camera in the order. Okay, so I'm going to start with that outer peg and put it on the stitch holder and go to the next one. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. And because we're going to be coming back this direction, you can just pick up that last 6th stitch, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and just go ahead and place it over there. Okay, and there you go. That preps you for this side in the next row. Now what you want to do is you want to pick up your other stitch holder, and you want to put the outer 6 stitches on here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So whatever your divided by 3 number was is how many you're going to take off and put on the stitch holder. Okay, so you've got stitches over here and stitches over here, and you're going to be slowly adding them back in. And so what you want to do now is you want to start where you left off, and you want to knit your way over. And then you want to knit 2 together. Okay, now you're going to go to the other side, and you're going to take off the last stitch you put on. So you're going to take it off. Be careful, making sure that you keep your other stitches on there. Place it on the last peg over here. Then you're going to knit your way over and knit your 2 stitches over. Okay, you're going to go back over here. Alright, and then you're going to take off the next stitch available and put it on here, and then you're going to knit your way over and toss both loops over. Go back to the other side, back and forth, take the next stitch off, place it on the end peg and knit your way over. And you want to continue this process back and forth until you have no more stitches on your stitch holders. Okay, so go ahead and pause the video and finish this process of adding the stitches back and forth. And if you ever get confused, if your working yarn's over here, then you're going to be pulling from the opposite side. So keep that in mind. So go ahead and pause the video and get all your stitches onto here, developing your heel wedge, and then we will work on setting up the gusset. Okay, and you can see the actual heel wedge there. Now we need to pull up and make our gusset. Okay, and you can see each chain here. Okay, now you can choose to pull up both sides of the chain. You'll have less of a hole, but you can choose to pull up both sides, but it will make it a tighter weave when you do that. Okay, and so it's up to you. You can choose to do one side, you can choose to do both. I'm going to try to do both. So I may need to start over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so there is my first one, and that's how you're going to count over. So there's 1, and there's 2, and you'll see these chains. You're going to bring them up. You can bring one side or you can bring both. But if you bring both, be aware that it will be very snug. Okay. And I may have to pull up one anyway. But, I mean, if you start pulling up 2 and it gets to where it's too tight, you can just go back to pulling up 1. So it's up to you. You can pull both sides of the chain up, or you can pull just one. Okay, but this creates your gusset. You can do the same thing over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay. I like to count them out, make sure that I'm pulling up the right ones. That one seems a little loose. I'm going to pull it up. Okay. You will see the chains. Alright, now that you've pulled up your gusset, you're really not going to be able to tell a difference. If you pull up both or one, you're not going to be able to tell that much of a difference. But okay, you've just created your gusset. At this point, what I like to do, because I've stopped here, I'm going to knit my way around to the starting point. Tossing those little chains you brought up, and then just knit my way around. Okay, and to absolutely finish the heel from here, just knit 18. Okay, that completes how to do a dot stitch gusset heel. So this is your dot stitch gusset heel, and that's how you do it on any loom you've got. Okay. If you want to see the next tutorial, I'm going to be showing you how to do this broken seed stitch. Okay. and that's going to explain how to go in and get this kind of interesting. It almost looks like a scale to me when you look at it for further away and everything. But I'm going to show you how to do that next, and how to work it if you're halving it, like on a sock. So I'm going to show you how to do that stitch, and then I'm going to show you how to go in and do it if you're halving it for a sock. So, but yes, that is how you do the dot stitch gusset heel.